I listened to Day Remember's new album today. I listened to a couple of other things as well today. One of those was the new album from TWRP, TWRP. It stands for Tupperware Remix Party. So they're really popular on their own. They're kind of they're like an 80s synth pop band. They're not from the 80s, but they're like a synth pop band. One of their claim to fame is definitely working with both Ninja Sex Party as well as working with eventually working also with Starbomb on Starbomb's third album. They only did Starbomb's third album. They didn't do the first two, but they've helped Ninja Sex Party. They've worked on several albums with Ninja Sex Party, and they tour with them pretty often. So, but yeah, TWRP released a new album. You know what I say earlier this year? Actually, no, it was recently. Actually, I think it was super recent. It was like a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. I actually did pre-order the album. I got it on CD, and I was listening today. I decided to listen to it today. Finally got a chance and sat down, listened to the whole thing front to back. So I was listening to a new album today. Same thing as ADT as You're Welcome. Solid album. I thought it was well done. I thought I forget what TWRP's new album is called. New and Improved. So TWRP's new album, New and Improved. Solid album. Actually, you know what? It had some similarities to You're Welcome by Day to Remember, in the sense that not because they were the same genre, they sounded the same, but similarities in the sense that while they're like a synth pop band, they kind of do the same thing where they stick within that genre, but they kind of push the boundaries a bit to try and make everything sound interesting. For example, the first like 2 tracks, I'll use the first 3 tracks as an example because I can remember them pretty well. There was the first 3 songs, first song that plays, straight up instrumental song, no vocals or anything. And it's a total like prog rock song, like prog rock, something you would hear like, you know, the band Yes. It's something like they would write, like some jazz influences in there, but it's very like kind of rock centric with the use of guitars and drums, but it's got like an 80s synth sound to it. It's a mixture of several different things, and it's super awesome. Lots of just soloing and some cool instrumental stuff. And then right after that, immediately into the second song, total just synth pop song. There's vocals and everything. It's total just 80s, something you'd hear straight out of the 80s potentially. Some might argue that the sounds used in a TWRP album are too modern sounding to be heard in the 80s. I am not specialized in electronic music. I just listen to what I listen. And then my favorite part, third song off New and Improved. Legit, when I heard it, I was like, yo, this sounds like a beat Dr. Dre made or something. It didn't help that they used like a really high pitched synth to like as like a melodic thing. It was cool though. It was really cool when I heard it. And then they had a guest vocalist for that song. I forget the person's name off the top of my head, but they did a fantastic job. And I just really like the album because it feels like TWRP's really trying to put you in an experience. They want you to like they really make it feel like you start the album, they're like, hey, welcome to this album, welcome to this show, please enjoy. You listen to it, you go, hell yeah. They're like, did you enjoy that? And you're like, hell yeah, that was dope as fuck. I'm like, no problem, all right, we'll see you next time. And then they play you out and you're like, fuck yeah, that was dope. The first track being instrumental feels like one of the ways I kind of equate an album is like I determine, you know, how well an album is paced with its music and everything. If I heard this album live, would it be hype as fuck throughout the album, or would it feel like I got a full concert experience listening to this album front to back, you know, in a live setting? And this was one of those albums that fits that criteria well, that I think does do that, because New and Improved by TWRP, just starting with the instrumental, it feels like this is the song that, like, you know, the lights turn off, all the lights go out, a video starts playing, the lights kind of come up, the band walks out, everyone's cheering, going, yeah, fucking go TWRP, all right. And then they play the first song, which is like the first song off the album. It's just this instrumental track that just gets you hyped up, and you just go like, hell yeah, let's go, TWRP's here, and they're playing, and they're just like introducing themselves, they're just on stage dancing, playing the song and stuff, and rocking out, and you're like, hell yeah. And the second song, boom, all right, we're in it, now we're partying, now we're gonna have fun, we're gonna jump up and down, we're gonna sing, have a good time, and just get our minds absolutely blown. That's what I liked about it. And the third song, you take it down a little bit, and you get this like close to like an old school Dr. Dre beat. Yeah, but it's really cool. It's like, damn, all right, we're toning it down a bit, let's go. And then they have a guest vocalist come on who just absolutely wails on the song. That way, like throughout, it again, same thing. It just I never felt like, oh, this album's starting to overstay its welcome. I think I felt it maybe once near the end, but it was mainly because there was a song that played that I went, oh, I think this is the last song. And then I looked and it was actually like the third to last song. Or the album kept going and I went, oh, okay, I guess that was the third or fourth to last song. But the second to last song I actually think is really cool. I think it's the third to last song they do. It's like they have like an announcer comes on and it's just like, be careful as you step off the. Well, one of the things with TWRP is like the kind of the backstory of like the band members, because they all wear like outfits and they all have like pseudonyms and stuff. Yeah, one of the things for TWRP is that like they come from space, so a lot of their music tends to be like themed around space and like space travel and stuff. So the third to last song in New and Improved is like, oh, be careful as you exit the space shuttle. And it's like a joke where it's like, oh, your mind, because you might be dealing with some effects of your mind being absolutely blown from how fun and from having so much fun. I was like, oh yeah, that's cute. I was like, it's fun. But honestly, I was also kind of just like, yeah, no, I did have fun listening to this album. And then the second to last song I found even more interesting. I really liked it because it was an interview. I forget the astronaut's name. It was like an interview done with an astronaut, like a genuine one they took, and they just kind of played. They wrote music over it. I think they did a good job with keeping within their genre, but also trying to essentially score what the person was saying, how you would in like a movie or a TV show or something. What he talks about is, he says, everyone talks about, they always want to talk about the moment when you feel weightless, or the moment you take off and you get into space and leave orbit and this and that. He's like, but the thing that they don't talk about, and the thing that's he thought was way more interesting, was that moment where you have to get on that shuttle and come back to Earth. And I thought it was like that song, especially once I heard the person say those words, really tied the album together, and it made the whole album kind of make sense. It gave it like a theme that I didn't realize was kind of there and trying to be prevalent. And I felt it gave a theme to just TWRP as a band as a whole. And that's that, like, everyone wants to talk about the beginning of an album, or the band's first hit song, or those songs in the middle of the album, and those moments, or like in a movie, right? You want to talk about the moments in the middle, or the beginning, or the opening sequence, some of the middle sequence that are super crazy hype and awesome. But it's almost like no one wants to talk about the end, right? No one wants something to end. It's bittersweet. It's almost melancholic. I don't think anyone wants something to end. They want it to keep going. But there's always that moment, just like the album, and just like if you go to space, or just like if you watch a movie, or if you're out with friends or something, hanging out and having a good time, there's the end of the good times. The good times end. That doesn't mean they can't start again, but the good times end at some point. And we kind of have to just deal with that. But it's really cool because the astronaut goes on and talks about almost like the intensity of getting to the end and coming back to Earth. It's that moment where he's entering and they have these rockets propel them forward into Earth's orbit, and there's pieces of the ship that get detached, like the quarters where they would sleep get detached and left in space. And then there's a flame shield that's around them that protects them, so as they're crash landing into Earth, the atmosphere doesn't burn up their ship and potentially kill them. And he goes and really intensely talks about it. It's kind of like, yeah, it's like when it's the end of the night, right? You're out with friends and you say one last round, the final this last hour, last 30 minutes, last 20 minutes, whatever it is those last little moments. You're doing the last push and the last little bit of enjoyment you get from that night before you call it quits. It's over and you move on with your life. You go on and do the things you do normally day to day, or the things you do outside of those good times. And of course, that does not mean the good times end. Doesn't mean the good times don't come back. Yeah, it's over, but hey, it comes back, right? There's always going to be good times again, right? You just finished the good times now, but baby, we're going again. Round 2 is coming up. Whether it be 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, a month, 2 months, a year, it's gonna happen again, right? The second to last song of that TWRP album really stuck with me. It was one of those things that I went, yeah, that's, it almost felt like they were treating their album too as like, yeah, this is those 45 minutes we are giving you of fun and enjoyment, the 45 minutes where we get to have fun and enjoy it with you, and you get to have fun and enjoy it with us. And yeah, that's just coming to an end. But hey, you know what? That doesn't mean the end's going to be boring and we're going to fizzle out. No, the ends of this album's here. We're re-entering Earth's orbit. But damn it, we're going on one final push, one last hurrah. And then, hey, that's the end for now. And I think that's the key word. It's for now. It's the end for now. Not forever, just for now. It was like a beautiful way to end the album. They actually, I think they play I think there's like one or two more songs in the album after that. So yeah, I mean, TWRP Remix Party, new and improved. Go check it out if you like yourself some good kind of 80s style synth pop. Highly recommend it. Very fun album. Good time to listen to. Yeah, sometimes you just need those fun poppy albums, right? Or you just get up and dance and have a good time. It's a good time. It's a good time.